Welcome to the Allen Eagles Fans Club AEFC Finally Friday Football Podcast for 2018. Week 6 of 16, Plano East versus the Allen Eagles. 7 p.m. Friday, October 12th at Eagles Stadium. In this episode, I will preview the Plano East game with Allen. I will go inside the Allen Eagles huddle. I'll go around the district. I'll give a Kyler update and details on a high school matchup where there are 40 FBS-bound players in this one game. What's ahead this week? Toward the end of the Prosper Plano East game 2 weeks ago, you could hear shouts of "We want Allen" coming from the Panthers' home crowd. Joey McCullough may have his best chance, Plano East's best chance, to knock off the Allen Eagles in 18 years. He has the team confident, loose, and believing that they can win. Allen has won 39 in a row against Plano ISD teams, with Plano being the last Plano ISD team to beat the Allen Eagles in 2005. But Plano East nearly beat Allen twice in the last 7 years, leading by 10 at halftime in 2011 before losing 42-38 and leading 31-24 in the fourth quarter in 2016 before losing 38-31. Interestingly, Braden Henderson was on that 2016 team as a sophomore, and he had 3 catches. On offense for Plano East, I saw on the Dallas Morning News Thursday that Allen ranks 10th in 6A area offense, and Plano East was not listed. I thought there must be an oversight, but I researched it, and in the Panthers' 5 games, they are indeed not in the top 10. Plano East has 560 more yards in the air, but Allen has 674 more yards on the ground than Plano East. Allen is averaging 455 yards per game, in Plano East 426.2. Plano East, with a high-powered offense, 4 really good wide receivers, and a high-caliber running back, switched to a one-back spread offense to keep explosive wide receivers Braylon Henderson, Jalen Anderson, Josh Allison, and Joseph Carter on the field together, and they have combined for 15 touchdown catches, while quarterback Brandon Mallory has averaged 299.6 yards per game. Plano East offensive coordinator Brad Bailey, a quote from Greg Riddle's story in Thursday's paper, "To beat Allen, you've got to play your best, and sometimes that's not enough. If we play our best game, I think it's enough." Some of the players to watch for on offense is quarterback number 1, Brandon Mallory. He has 15 touchdowns with 3 interceptions and one of the leaders in the 6A area for passing. Running back is 27, Travion Jones-Scott. He has 498 yards this season with a 7.3 average and 8 touchdowns rushing. Plano East's 4 exceptional wide receivers are all seniors. 12, Braylon Henderson, 5'10", 438 yards on the season with a 16.2 and 4 touchdowns. 16, Jalen Anderson. He's 6'2", has 434 yards with a 16.7 average and 4 touchdowns. And Anderson has is a tremendous athlete who also stars in track high jump. And so if there's a guy they need to go to for a contested ball or a high jump ball in the end zone, that's who they would probably go to. 17, Josh Allison. He's 6'3", has 340 yards on the year with an average of 28.3 and 4 touchdowns. I saw the 28.3 and on 12 catches, and I did research that Josh looks to be their long threat receiver. He has touchdown catches of 78, 53, 70, and 57 yards, leading to that high catch average of 28.3. The other wide receiver is Joseph Carter. He's 6'1", has 176 yards on the season with a 14.7, and he has 3 touchdowns. Looks to be their most standout offensive lineman, a tackle, Kobe Johnston, 67. He's 6'5", 280, and looks to be their best offensive lineman. On defense for Plano East, they switched from a 4-3 last year to a 3-4 defense, and now ranks third among the area 6A teams in scoring defense at 11.2 points per game. Joey McCullough, a quote from Star Media article on Thursday, "This has been the best defense that I've been part of in the last 20 years, he said. We're more aggressive, we're more multiple, we disguise coverages, we're coming from a lot of different angles. The play of our defense has been the difference. The ability to not have to be perfect on offense has given us a chance." Also, some players to watch for on defense is number 7, Zach Amachukwu. He's their shutdown defensive back. He had 3 interceptions last year. Number 9, Josh Bogowski. He's a linebacker. He had 103 tackles in 2017. Also linebacker number 14, Trenton Darby. Right now, he is tied with Josh for the tackle leader this year. Number 18, Tyler Owens. He's a 4-star Texas commit and one of the top-rated safeties in the country. Number 66, Jalen Brown, a nose tackle, has beefed up defensive line after moving over from the offense. Number 45, Kayvon Hamilton, a defensive end, leads the team with 5 sacks and 25 quarterback pressures. Some other notes about the Panthers. I noticed on some film I saw they do run some extra point trick plays, and actually against Prosper they ran them at least twice. So watch for that. If they line up in a strange formation, it is possible that they're going to go for it. The other thing, Plano East has kind of shot themselves in the foot with penalties. Prosper, they had 14 penalties for 137 yards. In the game before, McKinney Boyd, they had 9 penalties for 110. So they'll need to clean that up if they've got a chance. The Prosper game just was riddled with penalties on both ends, but that is an area that they need to improve if they have a chance to knock off Allen Friday night. Inside the Allen Eagles huddle, safety 7 Butler and 11 Willie, along with defensive backs 23 Perkins and 39 Williams, will have their hands full with the Plano East passing attack. 32 McGee and 38 Drogosh, safeties, along with 6 Norman and 25 Richardson, DBs, will spell the secondary to keep them fresh. Gamble said his secondary will need to focus on the details of the position. Quoted in the Star Media article this week, "It goes back to doing your job," he said. "Anytime you play in the secondary, you have to do your job and do it well. You have to play with your eyes and your feet, be fundamentally sound, and trust what you see. You can't play on your heels back there. You've got to be willing to go make a play." The two deep defensive line and linebackers are 97 Nokori, 42 Jernigan, 93 Mason, and 99 O'Brien are the defensive line starters. 82 Gura, 54 Curl, 96 McGoogle, 91 Latos are the twos. At linebacker, 15 Thomas, 26 Boone, and 2 Healy are the starters, with 9 Jasek, 44 Sawinski, and 21 Lewis are the twos. The defensive line and linebackers will have to do their job to keep their running back Jones Scott in check, especially on their play actions. Hoping on offense, Selden Manning is back at full strength at running back. Around the District 9 6A. Schedule for this Friday, all games are at 7 p.m. Plano East at Allen, both are 2-0. At this point, it looks like this will be for the district. Jesuit is at Prosper. Both teams are 1-1. McKinney versus Plano at Plano's John Clark Stadium. McKinney 0-2 and Plano is 1-1. And Plano West is playing McKinney Boyd at McKinney ISD Stadium. West is 0-2 and Boyd is 1-1. Former Eagles player updates. I wanted to take a moment to talk about Kyler Murray, the game against Texas and OU down there at Fair Park. Boy, was that a game to watch. 48-45. I noticed just the constant crowd noise. It seemed everyone, when they got pictured on TV, was standing. It was like a 3-hour and 45-minute game. I noticed the Longhorn band standing in the end zone the whole game. I never saw that if they ever had any chairs to sit on during the breaks during the game, and especially it being a hot day down there when the sun came out. God, that's just a long day to be standing and cheering and for a game. Well, you know, OU, Kyler brings them back with 3 touchdowns, and one of those, the 3, that Kyler 67-yard run. I was watching that and I thought, man, I don't think I'd ever seen him run that fast. You know, so much time through high school, he'd get out in the open and it still looked like he always had another gear he could go to if he wanted to. But so I tried to clock him just with my stopwatch, and so I clocked from the 45 to the 5-yard line to try to get a 40-yard speed. And I did it twice just to see if my reaction time was off, but I got it at 4.02 and 4.07. And I understand, you know, that's a running start at that 40 yards, but that's pretty amazing to do that right at 4 seconds. Kind of that sports car analogy, and putting that gas pedal to the floor just to see how fast it really could go. So unfortunately, that was, I guess, Kyler's first loss of a game that he started since middle school. So I'm sure they'll recover and have a great rest of the season. The game I teased earlier is St. John's Bosco at Mater Dei. That's at 9:30 Friday evening on FS2. I'm on DirecTV, and I had to do a little searching because FS2 is kind of out by itself. And so it's not ESPN, it's not EFS1, it's FS2. So you want to get that recorded in your DVR. I'll read a quote from CBSSports.com article. Mater Dei and St. John's Bosco are the 2 top high school football teams, not only in the state of California, but in the entire United States, according to Max Prep's excellent 25 rankings. On Friday night, they will meet to hash out who deserves top billing. It isn't often when the number 1 and number 2 ranked teams in the nation come together during the regular season for what is commonly called a Prep Super Bowl. In fact, it's only happened 7 times since 2000, according to Max Preps. But that means there are even more anticipation surrounding Friday night's clash between number 1 St. John Bosco and number 2 Mater Dei at Santa Ana Stadium in a showdown that will pit more than 40 FBS-bound players against each other. Max Preps is calling it one of the most star-studded high school football games ever. Other games of note is Frisco Reedy is at Lovejoy at 7 p.m. at Leopard Stadium. Of course, we can't go to that. We'll be at the Allen game. But that's a battle between some two top 5A teams and two of the top offenses in the state. So good luck to our friends over at Lovejoy. Another game that you might want to set the VCR up or check out is on Channel 21, the 10:30 delay game of Plano West and McKinney-Boyd, just since we have those two teams yet to play this year, to take a look at them. It's too bad Channel 21 can't do a flex scheduling like the NFL and choose to do the Reedy Lovejoy game, which would be much more entertaining, in my opinion. Motivational Reflections. Let me tell you what winning means. You're willing to go longer, work harder, give more than anyone else. Vince Lombardi, Green Bay Packers. Final thoughts. If you have any comments, questions, or topics you'd like us to bring up in the next podcast, comment below on the YouTube page or comment on Twitter. You can also contact us directly at Allen Eagles Fan Club, all one word, at gmail.com. And thanks for listening to another week of Allen Eagles Fans Club, Finally Friday football podcast. Go Eagles!
This podcast is for the enjoyment of the Allen Eagles Fans Club and its listeners. We are not associated with Allen ISD, Allen Athletics Program, or have any direct knowledge of what is presented in this podcast. We gather information from public media, watching practices and games. The information presented in these podcasts are subject to change, error, and the opinion of the Allen Eagles Fans Club.